Hi, I just wanted to make a quick video about explaining how I was able to make this LiveSplit layout, which sounds a bit self-important at first, but there were a lot of weird pitfalls that I fell into while trying to edit how my LiveSplit looked, and in the event that other people run into these issues, I wanted to, you know, explain them so that other people didn't have to go looking for the answer. So, first things first, I'm going to open the default layout. I will click Edit Layout and be met with this screen with the title, the splits, the timer, and the previous segment. I like these things. These are the things that I tend to keep on my layouts. Maybe it's just because it was there when it started, who knows. But for now, I'm going to click Layout Settings, and I'm going to put an image on the back of this. So I'm going to find an image quickly. Let's go for this one. So we've got this image of a city at nighttime. Looks pretty okay. Move that out of the way. Move this over here. So here we go. We have the city at nighttime. Perfect, right? Well, no, because if you look, there's a little bit of color difference. The Ice Cream Island, Grape Garden, and Orange Ocean splits are a little bit brighter. Same with Fountain of Dreams. Previous segment is still black. The title bar is still black. What gives with these? So, what you can do in layout settings is you can go over to the title bar and you'll notice it says there's background color gradient. First thing I like to do is go to plane. You'll notice that it's already become more flat, and then you can click on this and drag this opacity slider all the way down. And now you'll see that behind there isn't that same black bar anymore. It actually just continues the picture. You can do this for previous segment as well. And then the entire picture is uniformly displayed. Something else that you can do here is you can put the background color to plain for the splits. And then, yeah, that's still on. Splits are blank by default. The splits have no opacity by default, so the picture displays perfectly there. But now you might notice that the words Fountain of Dreams are a little bit hard to read because there's all that yellow behind it. So you can lower the image opacity down some, but then you don't really see the picture as well. It's a nice picture. You picked it for a reason. So if we lower the image opacity down some and we increase the image blur, obviously this much is a little bit excessive, but something around here, then you can very clearly see the difference between, what is light and what is text. Although something else that you can do, which I didn't immediately realize, is you can disable drop shadows. And on font this small, it might be hard to see. So I'm going to quickly pick bigger text and disable the drop shadows. Actually, it's just kind of hard to see on a picture this dark. So let's go for here. Enable and disable drop shadows. You'll notice this is a huge difference. But sometimes you don't want drop shadows, but you still don't want it to look this flat and this blended in. So what can you do? If you go to text, if you go to the bottom of colors, you'll see text outlines. And so you don't have to necessarily give it a full black outline, but you can kind of give it an in-between one. So like the one that I settled on that I liked was 99. Down there in this little hex code field. And then you can get a nice little, surrounding. It's not a drop shadow. The text doesn't look 3D, but there is still a little bit of buffer room so that you can more easily distinguish between letters and background. And then if we go back to the city image from before, you'll notice that reading the word Fountain of Dreams is very easy on this background, even if we lessen the image blur a little bit. And even if we increase the image opacity, just because that little text outline does so much. Finally, in splits, you'll notice that there's show thin separators. You can knock those off and have there not be a set of lines in the middle of the city image, which is always nice. And finally, what you can do, if you don't want, all of these double-digit timers, because sometimes it's a little bit much to look at, you can go into timer and you can change the timer format to a single decimal or no decimals at all if you just want it to only show individual seconds, which some people do. All of that said, I hope this was a little bit helpful to you. It took me a while to realize all of this stuff. Also, I'm not really sure what anti-aliasing does or doesn't do when you have it on. It appears to disable text outlines. I just kind of leave that checked. And if you really want to mess with things, you can lower the opacity. Oh, there is one last thing that I wanted to do. So let's say, for example, you wanted to have a GIF background. You can't. Not normally anyway. If I'm going to show you, let's make it this. It's not moving. And you might think, why isn't it moving? I have to close the settings, but it doesn't start moving. So what gives? You cannot currently, and I don't think they have plans to make it different, put a GIF in the background of your LiveSplit. So instead, here's something that you can do. Go to background and don't make it image, make it a solid color and make it a distinct solid color. I would prefer, even honestly, the default color that they have, FF0F0F0F, is fine. I don't see a huge issue with that. Because if you do want to have the rainbow best color segment thing enabled, setting it to black makes it a little bit less likely to have any of the rainbow colors color keyed out as well. Gray could also be a useful one for this. I've seen people use a light gray. So after you've picked this, maybe you want to get rid of the thin separators. That's also up to you. You can actually close out of LiveSplit and hold on, let me just add this. So as you can see, we have another instance of OBS visible. And this one has the GIF playing. I've added it as a media source. So if you want to do that, click the plus, click media source, create new, and then it'll, send you to the place to pick. You're going to want to keep loop checked. And so now we have this GIF. So what we do after that is we add a window capture of our LiveSplit. Don't capture the cursor. That's probably just a better thing to do. And you can overlay it over top of this GIF. Maybe make it a little bit wider on LiveSplit itself, so it stretches to the edge. Oop, sorry about that. And then in LiveSplit, you want to add a filter. You want to add a color key, because this color is never changing. So you want to use a color key. Chroma key is better for when, it's a moving picture. So color key, pick a custom color, select a color, pick a screen color, and then just grab this one, 0F0F0F. Remember, that was the one from earlier. Click OK. You'll notice it now looks thin, and you can close it. And on first glance, if I pop out the projector here, if I pop out the projector here, you'll notice that it actually looks pretty crunchy, and that's not actually something that you really want. Having it be this crunchy, it doesn't look very good. But there is something that you can do to help with this, and that is in the actual filter settings. And you do kind of get a preview of how it's going to overlay, and it does look a little bit crunchy. So first and foremost, you want to increase the smoothness. And this can get rid of the separators. So this may also be a sign that the separators may not be super compatible with what you want to do. You can also increase the similarity, but the more you increase the similarity, the more the edges of the time kind of get cut off as well. Like you see the 0 at the bottom gets kind of cut off. So it really is a bit of a give and choose in terms of tweaking settings, but the similarity and the smoothness are the two settings that you want to tweak the most. But if you're really in a pinch and things don't quite work out, you can edit the layout settings again. You can edit the layout settings and change the text outline to maybe a full opacity color, or you can change the text outlines to something that might look better with the background. So, this is kind of like a pink. So we can make it a bit of a pink outline, maybe a little bit down here, just kind of try to match it with what's already there. And it might not look as good on your own personal layout, but when you look back at the actual splits, it looks a little bit more like what you were trying to go for initially. So with all of that said, I hope that was at least a little bit helpful as a primer for making a LiveSplit layout look more like what you want to make it look like, and using images and stuff in the background. And best of luck on making your own LiveSplit layout, and I hope everything goes well for you. Thanks for watching, and good luck.